Yo, yo, yo! Welcome to Around the EcomiVerse, episode 52. Woo! We got
Party
a
time.
huge, awesome panel today. We got Crypto Rain, Paul Lizzi, Patient Hodler, Dr. Stuff, Danny the Bull, and Queen VeVe. Woo! What's up, everyone?
Hey,
Chilling.
What's going on?
Yo,
Chilling.
awesome.
happy to be here.
Yeah, this is 1 year in, guys. This is our 1 year anniversary of
Congrats.
running Around the EcomiVerse. It's thanks to all of you guys that we can do this. So thanks for everyone watching. Thanks for everyone who's joining me. Like a lot of you guys are quite regular, and I really appreciate your time because time is something that we never get back. Like time is very, very valuable and important to us. And yeah, it feels like it's gone pretty quickly for me. So yeah, I wanted to kick it off with everyone just maybe telling your Ecomi story. That'd be pretty cool. Rain, should we go around? We go around circle and see how everyone found this.
I'll go last.
I'll go first.
I go Paul.
I'll go second.
Basically, I made a big score due to Elon Musk. I was accumulating Ethereum in 2015-16, but Elon Musk tweeted, I want a Shiba Inu in January of 2021. So I bought like 14.7 billion for like 2-3 grand. It almost touches $1 million,
Wow.
and I cashed out at $500,000, and I just started to diversify, and I found Omi, and I said, okay, I'm just gonna get 20 million Omi. Like I think it was like last year. It's been accumulating. So, and I got a wallet, I got all this stuff. I've been on the app, whatever. But I know Patient Hodler has more points than me. I remember him talking in a video show. I was like, how did he get more than me? He joined like later than me. It's crazy. So that's my quick little story. Yeah.
Yeah, quick. Thank you. I don't know. I have more points than you. Didn't know.
Yeah,
but
I think I'm 21. I'm
without
21. Oh yeah, right.
But Omi story. I saw one of the bigger YouTubers shilling Ecomi, looked into it. At the same time, my cousin told me about it. Bought some, felt like a genius when it went up from 001 or something to 005-ish range. That was after the big drop already. And then I told everyone and their Degen cousin about it, like everyone does in a bull run. And then I thought it would be very good to become an millionaire. Bought more at 005 and got completely wrecked I think it was around the new year when everything plunged into the bear market. But I was already addicted, so everything was fine. And then I stopped buying until the very lows. I mean, Jordan, you always try you have to buy now. But and now I'm sitting here and have brought my average down quite a bit. That's it. That's awesome. The Omi story.
Dr. Stuff, do you want to go next?
Yeah. So I was introduced to VeVe and Ecomi, or the Omi token, by Crypto Rain here. Told me about VeVe in early March of 21. And I bought right in, like I understood it, but didn't go for the token. I was like, this is pumped like crazy at the time. It had just hit like all-time highs. And I was like, I'm going to wait and hold off on that. And so I got into some other things that did okay. But then I was talking with Rain, and all of his portfolios seemed to continue to be popping off. And I'm like, I got to diversify a little bit. And that's when I did start looking at Omi. And I still bought in at like 007 is where I first bought in. So not at the high, about half the high. And as we all know, right, there were some promises or things that we've been told that were going to happen, and so I was in. But so I bought in there, but I've continued to buy in, and because I am patient like that, and I understand where I think that this project can go. And so I literally just bought another million like 3 or 4 days ago, more on me, and I'm continuing to stack like at these prices. I'm taking gains or profits from some of the tokens that I have that have pumped and rolling it back in there. But so been around a couple 2-3 years now in Omi, 2.5.
Awesome.
Yeah, I've been here again about the same amount of time as you guys, about a couple of years now. First got introduced through Andre Jick. I think like a lot of people heard him talking about it on Millennial Money. Didn't buy it right away. I waited a bit, did my research, got familiar with it, found, then I jumped in got into VeVe, but most importantly, I think the best part of the journey has been meeting so many different people in the community, and I've formed and forged so many relationships. And my bags might be down on Omi, but it's given me so much in terms of the people that I've met, the knowledge that I've accrued, and so I'm really up a lot.
Awesome.
So I found Ecomi. I started in crypto back in 2017, and like most people, I came in a bull run and watched my $15,000 go to 165,000, and then go to 3,000, and that was not very exciting. But that's pretty much the journey everyone goes on, is they're learning crypto, and they come in. Usually, we come in a bull run. But during 2018, a friend of mine that was running a VC pool introduced me to like Ecomi, and he had David and Dan on his channel, did an interview with him, and David was talking about this idea of digital collectibles in your wallet, and I thought that was an amazing idea, and so I invested in the pre-sale. I then kind of forgot about Ecomi. It was on GoChain at the time, and I just had it sitting in a GoChain wallet and kind of forgot about it until late February, early March 2021. And somebody asked me to take a look at Ecomi, and I was like, wait, I know that project. And I looked, and they had this app that was out, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this VeVe app is like really crazy. They got Batman, they got the first Batman on the blockchain, they have all this cool stuff. And so I covered on my YouTube channel. I think I was the first one to do a VeVe video on YouTube specifically about VeVe, and didn't even know how to pronounce it right. So that was early March 2021. I bought a bunch of the collectibles. I didn't buy more of the token because it was at 1.4 cents, but I felt like the collectibles were massively underpriced. So this Batman on the blockchain, I actually covered it, and I said, gosh, I think this massively underpriced is going to do really well. And at the time, a bunch of my subscribers got really mad at me because they were Cardano fans, and they're like, why would we invest in some stupid Batman thing? Well, I invested in it because I thought it would go massively up, and it went up 200x from there, right? But it was just sitting available on the store, so it seemed like nothing was happening. It will never go up is what it felt like. In fact, there was only like one selling per day. It wasn't even selling fast. And like about a month later, a month and a half later, somebody started buying massive amounts, and then they just all sold. And then later it went to about $16,000 from $80. So pretty good returns on it. Yeah. And that's often how crypto goes, right? We're kind of seeing that process with the Omi token. It feels like it will never go up. And it happens slowly and then suddenly. And we'll see Omi do just fine.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Rain. Queen VeVe?
So my husband has been around in crypto for longer than I have been. So he pretty much stumbled upon Omi on the commode, I think is what he says. He just found it. Then he started researching it. He did get into the app. So, it was around the time that unicornos, mermicornos were coming out. So I don't know, what is that, like April, May 2020. So that's kind of where we started collecting. He did buy it. And then the more that we kind of learned, the more that we saw come out of the projects, such as like Marvel dropping their comics, Disney, etc., the more and more we got excited. Although we did buy Omi early, we too kind of did with what you did, Jordan, got a lot of mine at 007. So we did acquire some pre, and then we did get some at 007. And now we're, sitting where we are. But once again, to kind of echo what Rain said, if I look at what did they say they were going to do and what excited you about the project, when you paid, 007 for it versus where are they now? To me, they're holding strong. The teams, the IP, the main reasons that I wanted to get into it still stand true. They've dropped the ball here and there and a couple little things time wise, but I still like what they're doing. I like the IP, and we've continued to buy. maybe not in huge quantities, but we're still DCAing, now. So still believe in it and still like the price and still think there's a lot of potential, given all we have. So that's where I
Awesome.
stand. And I also have a sizable number. We also have a sizable number of collectibles as well. So
Do you know
yeah.
the number? Do you know how many collectibles you guys have? Comics?
A lot. I don't know. But I'll take a look and I can let you know.
Awesome.
But I don't pay attention to that. I'm not into. I just kind of buy the things that attract me. Like recently the car. The Ferrari.
You get the Lamborghinis?
Or I said Ferrari, didn't I? Ah, bad Lord.
A lot of
yes.
people will be very upset now.
Yes, I did get the Lamborghini. I got dark blue, and we did okay. My son got a number 56, ultra rare, so we did okay. But like to me, that's the first one. That's something you want to put in the vault and wait.
Oh, I've been loving seeing all the people on Twitter or X posting all the Lamborghini videos. There's so many good ones going around at the moment. It looks great. It looks really good, and some people made awesome videos as well. I just want to switch gears a little and say, Patient Hodler, you're going to Crypto XR, right?
Yep.
Anybody else on the
absolutely.
panel here going?
Nope.
So it's just you, Patient Hodler. You got to represent all of us.
Okay, no problem.
No pressure.
I'll send you my crown. Where should I send it to?
Can you send it to Germany? But then I have to pay 50 euros import tax on it, like I had to on my comics. So that's pretty bad.
Oh no, that sucks.
I'll get one. I'll get somebody to send you one over. No problem.
Whoa, we got Puddin' Cheeks is in here.
Puddin' Cheeks.
She's
Wow.
been roughing up Laurie.
Sorry?
Laurie, Puddin' Cheeks says, who's been roughing you up? And also, did you want to talk about the charity event?
Flood busting is extremely hard work, Puddin', and someone's got to do it. So you should see the other guy.
Yeah.
I don't want to, spend too much time, but some of you guys may or may not have seen that Comics and Crypto, they are running a charity auction, and all proceeds benefit First Responders Children's Foundation, which, as you guys know, Al is the Al is the founder, and his lovely wife Jillian Crane is the CEO. So this charity goes to help children who have lost a parent, who in the line of duty as a first responder. So they do everything from bereavement, temporary assistance to toy giveaways, mental health. They're now offering mental health services, at no cost. So it is really a great charity, and it's not limited to New York either. Their reach extends to all first responders, whether you be a New York City ambulance driver or if you are an ambulance driver in my home of Pennsylvania. So they really do great things for children in need. And, when you think about it, to know every day your mom or dad might not come back, I can't even imagine that feeling, knowing they're going out to help us. So if you get a chance, Jordan, I sent you the information. There are 15 items that they are running for auction. One of those is a comic book that has been signed by 43 different artists. I mean, we're talking like Jim Lee, big time artists. I think just the signatures alone, we kind of priced out at a $3,000 value. I'll
put the links in the description.
Yeah, put the link in there. There's some pops in there. There's a pop signed by David, Dan, and Al. There's a graded VHS tape signed, a Pokemon signed by Al. So I donated an Iron Man Funko Pop unredeemed code, but it is a common. So, whatever we can do to kind of raise awareness and raise money. You guys, Sleeping Comics donated a comic and a half an hour Zoom call. So that's pretty cool. And a hat. So,
Nice.
Take a look. If there's anything that strikes your fancy, throw in a bid. It's all through eBay auction. And it all goes straight 100% to the charity. So,
Awesome.
and
Well,
it
thanks for
ends
that.
on the 14th. So if you're going to look and you're going to put in a bid, please do it now.
Just a few days, guys. Just a few days.
And you can
Cool.
go on my link, Queen VeVe, or Lori Brenner 13, aka Queen VeVe. There's the links to it there, as well as on Comics and Crypto. So
Wicked.
thank
Well,
you
thanks
for
for
the stage, Jordan.
Oh, no worries. No worries. Always want to help out the fam. We got a really funny comment here by Mike H. Terminator Rain, Poppendom Pecs, staring into my soul. Get your plan B pills ready, Omi homies. The dog is running with the wolves tonight. I don't know exactly what that means, but it sounds good.
I don't know either. Is that good or is that bad?
I think it's great.
Matthew Lampy says, no offense, but I grew up on WWF wrestling and 80s sitcoms. Fake neck braces, including
Andy
Yeah.
Kaufman.
It
All right.
looks like
All right.
it looks like it's fake.
All right.
There we
Are you
go.
serious? Is this where we're
no.
going?
Hope your head doesn't fall off when you take that off.
Seriously?
Oh, but that's just a that's a fake bandage.
Don't. No.
No.
Don't fall for it.
Stop this. What's happening?
No.
Jesus.
What have we done now?
Lori's
And the
neck
camera
just
goes
opens right up.
Okay. Does it look fake?
I can't tell.
Can
Yeah,
you
that looks like WWF makeup.
Wow.
Right there.
Probably not.
What a fraud.
If the last band-aid comes off, then the camera goes red, right?
I don't think I could do last Band-Aid. It would be bad. It would be
No,
very,
no.
very bad. Blood would start squirting out. At
Oh,
the
no.
That'd be
that's not too bad.
amazing. We'd get the highest ratings ever.
Yeah, and
Nice rating.
Jordan gets banned on YouTube.
Yeah, well, we get banned. We're demonetized. Will they release more than one utility bronze tickets? I hope so. No idea.
No,
No
with
idea.
the bronze tickets, right? At the same time, probably not, right? I think they'll do bronze tickets and then down the road other things. But I would love for the ability to use a credit card to buy layer 2 Omi at the same time as bronze tickets, because that's what's going to make the bronze tickets valuable, in my opinion, or worth. Like, it's just too big of a pain to get your Omi over to the app otherwise. But I don't think it's coming at the same time. But hey, that's progress, and I'm happy. I'd be happy with progress.
Yeah, the only thing that makes me think that they might drop buying Omi with the credit card is we know recently they've just dropped the mobile version of the web app. And that means they're all poised. All they need to do is just add in the button where you can click buy Omi, chuck in your credit card details. And if they did that at the same time as bronze tickets, for me, that would make a lot of logical sense, because then you could actually buy bronze tickets inside you could buy Omi to buy bronze tickets inside the app without having to use the layer 1, layer 2 bridging process, which everyone knows is a bit of a drag. It's not that hard. It takes like 5 to 10 minutes once you've done it a couple of times, but it is still an extra barrier that would be completely eliminated if you can just buy Omi in the app. And I feel like it would be so good if they released those together. So I was getting some feedback, but yeah, what do you guys think, Danny? What do you think is going to happen?
Well, happen in terms of what with what's next?
Yeah, bronze tickets, and you think it's possible
I
to get
think
more?
first up would have to, before bronze tickets come out, we have to have the revamped wait list, right? Because in order to use the bronze tickets, you have to use them inside the wait list. So I think once we see the new wait list come out, then I think the next logical thing would be the bronze tickets. And yeah, I do love the fact that the web browser is there now, and that does, set up the potential for other utilities, like you said, the layer 2, purchase layer 2, even like Omi to Gem, Omi to NFT down the line. You need that infrastructure built out first.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, we need to be able to spend MCP points, right? Patient Hodler, did you have something to say?
Yeah, the problem with this milestone is that it comes in at the worst time when sentiment is super low, volume is super low, and most of the drops don't sell out. So you bring bronze tickets to throw lottery tickets on something that you can get cheaper if you even don't go for the drop. So there's no incentive to spend it unless they launch a drop or a sequence of drops that is so desirable that and at the scarcity where everyone has to buy the bronze tickets to have a shot on it, and that could be only something completely new. So probably you cannot get anyone out of the corner, so to say, with another Disney drop, right? So you'd have to bring something like the big ones, like One Piece, like anime stuff, right?
Well, don't say One Piece to me.
Huh?
Don't say One Piece.
Right. So for example, let's say they put a secret rare Zorro as a collectible there, and Jordan is like, I have to get that, and it's like 90 editions. Then he will use the tickets. Otherwise, he'll just wait for the secondary market and buy it.
Yeah, but I think even if it is something that's really desirable at this point, so many people have so many MCP points accrued, and those would also be able to get used to jump in and get more chances. So it would take a while for they'd have to like drain MCP points in order to make the bronze tickets more desirable. But I think just getting them out in and of itself is would be considered an accomplishment and make people look forward to the next catalyst. So I'll take it regardless.
So I think that we need to differentiate MCP points. There's going to be a separate category for people to use that, but I think that there will be a separate allocation for like bronze tickets and things. Yeah. So I think that the MCP points won't eat into the bronze ticket allocation. And we did have Puddin' Cheeks on here. Maybe he can clarify if I'm wrong on that.
But can't you use MCP points for extra? I forget it so long.
Well, so you use it. So my understanding is
I haven't read that in a long time.
You're gonna have you have like a general allocation for anyone, right? And they're gonna set aside a certain amount for those people, but there's gonna be a separate kind of allocation just for MCP users. Now, within the MCP users, right, like the more MCP points you spend towards that, the higher probability within that bucket is my understanding. And that's separate from the general, right? And the general is where I think that you can then use like bronze tickets.
Gotcha.
That.
Yeah. So one thing I want to say though, too, just about like, I agree with everything you guys said. Like if they're not selling out, what's the need for bronze tickets? They need to figure like something out, different anime, whatever. But with buying Omi, I think I can't stress this enough. And I hear so many people in crypto almost kind of like, push it aside, is the ability to purchase it easily. And I think it's so funny because you'll hear people very familiar with crypto. They'll be like, well, you only have to do like these 3 things and follow it's not that hard, but it can't be that hard. It's got to be to the point. I mean, for it to really be successful, in my opinion, and take off, it's got to be to the point where it's like card registered, out the door, all this. Well, here, grandma, you got to cross over to this layer and then move this from there. And to you, you guys or to people who are more familiar, it might sound silly, but, people keep it simple, stupid. And I think until we get or, on exchanges where people can do it easily, I think it's going to be a tough sell to anybody, your average Joe.
I just want to point out that we've had like 3-4 comments. VeVe just dropped the next drop for Saturday. It's 3 platinum moments, all secret rares, 641 editions, $6 each. Not bad.
Looking good.
More comments on it.
It's also got the transformative potion again.
Oh, wow, super rare set. I thought it was going to be scarce. Another potion.
That can make it really scarce, right?
That's exciting. Do you reckon they dropped that because we're streaming now? Like, did Puddin' Cheeks say, quick, drop the platinum moments?
Alex goes on my collectibles and makes these kind of announcements. What?
That's fun.
At least Disney didn't abandon VeVe yet, right? So it's still there.
That's true.
So some of the people on Twitter have to still wait for that moment when it just doesn't come anymore.
Well, wait a second. I thought, like it was all over when Dapper Labs had those Disney pins. I thought that was the end of VeVe, right? Like,
yeah.
So it's so funny how people will jump this narrative. They're just looking for any way to attack it. And so they'll see something and without even doing any due diligence on it, right? They just tweet like, VeVe, like the exclusivity is done. Oh, what about interoperable wallets? And I'm like, Do you understand Dapper Labs at all in the Flow blockchain? It's a walled garden as well. Like, yeah, and it's just funny. But then people panic because they just see those and then they're not doing the research. It's so important, guys, to do the research or listen to the people here who do the research.
Her toys as well. I mean, what Will explained on the Queen's Court was the exact same thing, you know?
Yeah.
So,
The funny thing is that they choose to attack VeVe at points where it's not so effective, instead of the points where it's really effective, where you really would have a point, right? Mm-hmm. So all this stuff like, oh, the brands are going to walk away. Hey, just wait for proof that a brand walked away. I mean, we saw just the lineup of what was it, back to back, some Marvel comics with a Lamborghini, with a Disney Platinum now, with I think James Bond, which is, what is that, Metro Goldwyn Mayer or Warner Brothers or I don't know what, who holds the rights there. But that is a big, and USPS stamps also. So that is a big sequence of all the bigger brands that were hypes before in the bull cycle. Yeah.
I'm just going to quickly share this.
I would like to make a bigger picture point on the whole market, right? So
can you guys see that?
A lot of people go back in time and they say, oh, I would have bought the Todd McFarlane when it was 80 gems. And here's my question to them if they would have. If they're buying a Ecomi's token now, they probably would have. Because buying low is really, really hard. And the reason is because you don't have market confirmation. For example, what is there now market confirmation on in the crypto space? Blockchain gaming, right? Is it fair to say your feed is probably half the videos in your crypto YouTube feed are on blockchain gaming? Is now a good time to buy blockchain gaming? Fuck no. It was 2 months ago when we were talking about it. It's already 10 or 15x, yet this is what people want to hear about, and they're FOMOing into things. And this is why most people don't make money on crypto. And they're selling things at lows like OMI and rolling into blockchain gaming into a project that just went 15x. And you're seeing firsthand why 95% of people don't do well in crypto. And it's literally just reversing this, right? Why do you think my audience back in 2021 was mad when I was talking about Batman? They're like, nothing's happening with it. It's just sitting on the store. Nothing's happening with it. Because they didn't know how to recognize the good deal that everybody wasn't saying it was a good deal and hadn't already gone up 15x. If it had gone up 15x, guess what? They would have wanted to buy it. And I was still in the process of trying to like train people to think like an investor and in order to buy low. And buying low is the hardest thing in crypto because you don't have market confirmation from all these people. In fact, you're usually waiting through a whole bunch of FUD. A whole bunch of people saying, oh my gosh, it's been going down for so much because of this psychological principle called recency bias. So is it fair to say for the past 18 months, Ecomi's token's been going down? Yeah, pretty much. And so people think it's just going to continue to go down, whereas they're now looking at blockchain gaming that for the last 6 weeks has gone crazy. And they think, well, because the last 6 weeks it went crazy, it's going to continue doing crazy. If it went 15x already, it's going to do another 15x from there, surely. Now, I think blockchain gaming will have another leg up and then probably correct for a little bit. So they're not completely wrong in that I think it will go up a little bit more before it then trades sideways and pulls back for a while. But like I'm looking at deals that are cheap, right? And so OMI is one of those deals. Digital collectibles are not in the narrative right now. Nobody's thinking about them. Nobody's talking about them. It seems like bronze tickets won't even sell now. Why? Because some of the drops aren't selling out. But wait till digital collectibles hits the narrative. What is the number one project in digital collectibles? VeVe. Who has bigger IP in digital collectibles? So really what they're saying is digital collectibles aren't in narrative, and I'm scared that I'm not going to do well because this other thing is pumping really well. So I'm going to sell what's not doing well, and I'm going to chase into what just in 15. And unfortunately, that's really normal in crypto, and that's why a lot of people do very poorly in crypto. And what I try to do is reach people to interrupt the patterns that we would normally do. And unfortunately, some people are completely unreachable. But
it's not just crypto, though, right?
What's that?
I mean, it's not just crypto, though, right? I mean,
yes,
it's real estate, it's stocks, it's the same story just a different.
Exactly. Because this is how normal people, like emotionally, when we get emotional, this is how we react. Like right now, to FUD VeVe like crazy is just an emotional conclusion.
Yeah,
And literally you're flooding people out at the bottom, which is like, okay, I just know it happens. I try to inform people so they don't do that. But, you know, some people aren't going to listen to me because they get scared.
Yeah.
And they're going to listen to some XYZ really, really big channel that thinks, oh, they know differently. But what they'll find out a year from now was, well, shoot, yep, they got fudded out at the bottom by a channel that was fudding on it because that's what was popular. And they sold at the bottom. And then over the next year, it did really, really good. And they'll learn a very valuable lesson if they stick around. Because if you're here, like, I hope your goal is to become a really good investor, like a savage investor, that you understand these principles. And some idiot with a YouTube channel can't shake you out because you're able to look deeper at the fundamentals and you just laugh when they're saying stupid things because you now know way more about investing than they do. And they can't shake you out. So that's what I hope you're here for in the audience. Now, some are just here because VeVe is freaking cool. And it's true. Like their AR stuff is amazing. The IP that they have, like if somebody had told me when I bought Ecomi's pre-sale that later they would have Disney, Marvel, DC, I would have been like, no way. Like, no way they would have all the top brands and become the #1 player in that. And yet, you know, people are still finding something to complain about. And they're just emotionally scared. They're just new to investing. They don't know what they're doing. Yet they think they do, and they're falling into the trap that 95% of people fall into, and yet they think their ideas are so nuanced. They're actually old and tired. They just haven't been around long enough to know that.
Right. That's what I wanted to say something, just chime in on that, because everything you said was pretty much spot on. It's also when I see the FUD, it's like almost like following like your favorite hockey team. I said this before. It's like you can win the Stanley Cup, and then you could come back in and like the Montreal Canadiens can lose against Boston and they'll be like hated. They'll be like literally thrown into the garbage dump, even though if they're like the newest, you know, winners. So I feel VeVe's like that. People know it's a winner, but it's like tough love. They give like they want to see it succeed. They want to see it, but when they don't, it gets, it's like, no, we're the best. So it's kind of like it gets them so deep. So it's a good sign. It's a good sign. Plus those fudders, again, they're the ones that are going to buy in at 2, 3, 4, 5 cents, making us richer. So it's fine. Let them FUD, let them learn, let them get through the process, you know? And like you said, crypto, the AR stuff is what blew my mind, because I don't know if you guys have been following Art Basel in Miami, everything's AR. Everything is AR now. So it's like, I'm like, it's coming. It's coming. I see the trade. I see the bus. It's coming. The bus, VeVe stop is coming soon. So and I'm seeing so many young people, art just popping up. And I'm like, this is old news for us, you know, but it's good because it's in the narrative. It's everywhere. It's like in the munchies. That's like that stuff just pops out and it's crazy what they're doing. So it's coming. The narrative, it's a huge thing. The technology's huge. Did you guys remember Facebook? You remember YouTube in 2005? How ugly it was, how it didn't work, and you're buying $1 flowers to people, and it was like a MySpace. Come on, like you guys, like the fact that they're landing all these crazy
the
IPs.
same thing last week. You're seeing the signs. We have now. I work for a pharmaceutical company. It's like Bear's introducing metaverse for its patients and doctors. It's like, wait, what? Like it, you know, I'm like, wait a minute, what? And then my old broken down mall that I don't even know who even goes there anymore has a Bitcoin machine there. So like there's a lot of things that I guarantee you 3 years ago never would have heard. And it's just like now I'm seeing all, like you said, AR in Miami. It's coming. It might not be as fast as we all want it, but it's still moving that way. So
the last year it wasn't like that. I was following it. I was actually in Miami, and it was more just art and, you know, clubbing. But now it's like every gallery, every club has something AR enabled. So it's 1 year. It's 1 year, and I'm following everybody, influencers, so many companies, and I'm just knowing AR is now becoming a narrative in the sense of like in the marketing game. So In the phygital, also I see advertising. Get your phygital popping with an AR. You know, I'm just starting to see it. Phygital's a word in an Instagram ad. It's like, whoa, this is happening really, really, really fast. So, yeah.
That's so bullish.
Yeah. Also, I even got an email from VeVe today saying that, oh, you can now use the browser. You can now we accept American Express.
I got it too. My husband was like, yes, they could use your card. I'm like, no.
The emails, is this FUD? Wait, not FUD. Sorry, is this like a scam? I was just checking because I'm always triple checking, but that's huge. They're planning big things to do, like a marketplace, and so on and so forth. You know,
So one thing I want to point out too, like along this topic, that I think that is missed sometimes when you don't take a step back and look at the bigger picture. We have now David and Dan, like they continue to see things before they happen, right? They built out Ecomi and VeVe, like they started this in 2017 before NFTs were really even a thing. So you have that, right? Then instead of talking about NFTs, they start calling them digital collectibles. Then all of a sudden NFTs become this 4-letter word and people's like, oh, it's draining all this electricity. Then on top of that, they're doing this AR stuff and they're like, hey, this is going to be part of the interaction with our digital collectibles. This is a big deal. And now we're starting to see things come around. So when I take a step back and I say, yes, things are slower in some aspects than I would prefer. And from what we've been told, like, I think that there are other indicators that make me still feel really good about where things are going. Now, you take away the signature from my Bart and Homer statue.
Oh,
have a little bit of a freak out moment, okay?
Wait, a little bit?
My body.
A little bit?
I have it right here.
I just like lost it there. And then it came back and I learned my lesson because I jumped the gun, right? Instead of waiting for the team to come out and address it first before I reacted, it'd been a long day and I was like,
Came out swinging.
I was dying.
Yeah, your definition of a little bit of a freak out really makes me question. Yeah, that was not little.
Let me tell you though, I straight up look.
And if it is, what is big?
Any platform.
You don't even want to know
that completely devalues something like that. Like I'll be out from. Like, you know, like and there's a great conversation that I had with Randy offline too, just talking about like, what are the expectations? We know that VeVe goes in and they do upgrade things, right? But then there's that space of like, well, this should be like, shouldn't we have a say in whether something is even upgraded or not? Can we keep it the same? You know, like remember those comics that the cover was the right cover, but then inside it was the wrong content with Captain America. Right. And like a lot of people were like, this is amazing. Physical, that would have just been a misprint. And that could have been extremely valuable. And VeVe could have, this is what I think is crazy, is they could have made even more money by saying, we're going to leave these the way they are. We misprinted them, but we're going to also put in the correct one, right? And they could have reissued and people would have bought both, you know, and like the penguin with the Brian Bollard instead of Boland, like that was misspelled. And I bought some penguins thinking of that, how it could be worth more because of the misprint. So something for VeVe to take into consideration in consulting with their IP is like, sometimes mistakes are going to get made, but if we just leave them there, that makes it even more valuable. You can
be Marvel though too, right? I mean, Marvel has, they have a tremendous say. Like from what I've been told by, oh my gosh, Trevor, a while ago, is basically they hand them the package. You know what I mean? They hand VeVe the package ready to go. So I'm with you. I love the idea of when can we have like, you know, misprints or something wrong, because that's what makes something super valuable, right? But I think in that case, they would have to be working with Marvel to say, you know, can we do this or not? I don't think it would be their call to make, but I like that idea.
But it would give more of the blockchain feeling, you know, but because, for example, you remember the 97.8 billion OMI smart contract mistake? Yeah, you cannot correct that one. So and it has something good with it, right? So if you cannot correct these errors. So if you don't interfere, you give the community more a sense of, hey, this is immutable, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but I think the freak out over the signature thing also speaks to somewhat of like the kind of erosion of trust that's taking place. and that needs to be restored.
Well, they need a face. They need a face and a clear. Danny, I always go back to what you said, and it was very poignant at the time. Is direct the narrative. They need to be the ones directing the narrative. I think they've gotten better with that. But I mean, bottom line, I think it'll be nice to see Foster pretty much, stepping up and maybe taking the direction on the Omi side, and whoever they pick for this new role would be, see what's brewing out there, right away and get it addressed. And, they need that position badly. And I think that would greatly help, Danny, is if someone was taking control of the narrative in real time.
They're still looking for a VeVe community manager, right? That's still on the cards.
Probably going to be from outside the community. I think that they're going to just completely divest themselves of that potential conflict of interest, right? Or, there's always going to be things that people have said or interacted with the community. Like even with Foster, right? Like Foster had conversations with people in which they got toxic, or maybe he pushed back and so he just blocked it. He didn't want to deal with it. And then people came back and they're like, oh, a community manager who's blocking me. And it's like, okay, you're not giving the context of the fact that you were just literally personally attacking him. So yeah, he blocked you, but they can get away from all of that with just bringing in someone who's outside the community.
And that would be good, but that person would have to be in it, like addressing things real time. I think, Danny, that's one of the biggest erosions. Like, for example, the Spider-Man. What happened to the Spider-Man? Yeah. That sucker drug until David answered it on the Queen's Court. But my goodness, that thing went 12 days where people were they had a free for all, and no one, instead, no one came up, no one stepped. Like, that's what that position needs to do, is be able to recognize we got fires, put it out. Like, they could have put that.
Foster doesn't have that chance. Foster doesn't have the chance because he can't stand up and then people firing these things at him and he has nothing to answer because he doesn't have anything at hand where he can say, hey, look, this is the next improvement. You just saw it roll out, right? So he will stand there and say, not true, but we can't talk about it right now. Or but there's something inspiring. So he has no chance right now to stand up to that. So
but
that's.
Are you guys talking different things? You're talking Omi and Queen VeVe talking about VeVe. I think you guys are talking about slightly different things.
Well, I think
Yeah, but she said before that Foster needs to stand up and come.
No. I didn't say he needs. I'm sorry. Maybe that's a translation. He doesn't need to, but I could see him. If something came up, within the realm of Omi, he would be the type that would hear it, come out and address it. So even if it's like, I know what you're saying about, well, we don't know, but I still think that anything that might come up, he would be able to address it. But even if it's an address of, we hear you, we're looking into it, and I know that's a bad answer, but that's better than silence. I guess is what I'm saying. Yes. Yeah. So even if he says, look, I'll have an update for you guys on this in 4 weeks. That's the best I can do. We hear it. Move on. That's all. That's all I meant by that. I think he'll be the type that he will address things that come up and not just let him hang and go on and let the FUD just turn into this heaping, oozing, even if it's not the right answer, we're going to continue to do over-the-counter sales, and that's whatever,
But we need two, right? We need a VeVe community manager and we need an Ecomi community manager.
Well, right. Ecomi is now Foster.
The different FUDs from the different places, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
There's plenty to go around, but like you said, 12 days on Twitter is like 12 years. Right?
Yes.
That's how long it feels. So to have something like that linger with such a passionate, in-tuned community. Now you're letting other people control the narrative rather than taking control yourself, and it just makes things exponentially worse.
Do you have a quick question here from the comments? Is there any updates from VeVeVerse? Anyone know anything? Anything new?
No, this is a perfect example though, because so Dan had come on and he had on Will Mai's interview said middle of November he's going to make a decision about bringing additional people into the VeVeVerse, right? And maybe they have. Like we don't know, and now it's been almost a month from that deadline of when he talked about that. And again, this is why he's like, I'm hesitant to bring up deadlines, but like you can bring up deadlines, and if they're missed, just saying, hey guys, some additional things have come up, but just continuing to inform the community. But when it just goes silent like that, people do let their imaginations run wild, and that's where that lack of trust. And look, it's funny because I'm one of the ones who overall, like, I'm solidly bullish on the team, but like I jumped the gun with that signature thing, right? Like normally I feel like, but I let the emotions get the best of me on that one instead of like waiting for a second. But there is that time where it's just like so many times it's not addressed that it's just like that people then do jump to conclusions. That had been, in my defense, this is not a very good defense, but the team had several hours before I went on that live stream to say something. And it wasn't responded until we were on the live stream, but I still should have been like, hey, I'm going to wait for the team to come out with something and given it a little bit more time. And then if not, then yeah, I think that we have a right to then be like, I'm concerned the team isn't addressing this or hasn't made a comment about it.
I reckon we need to give them 24 hours grace time. So what was that, Paul?
I think we've been spoiled too because they've been so transparent with us. It's one of the reasons why I invested, because they're just there. Like when the number one rule is you got to look up who the team is. And not only is the team there, they were so transparent that we got almost like spoon-fed so much that when they started to just retrace a bit, we're starting to get like worried, like, you know, we can't suckle from the nipple anymore. Like they're just giving us the bottle from far, and then they're like, okay, there's nothing happening this month. What's going on? So it's because they found that everyone's so hype about it that they were hanging on every word. And it's funny that Bart Simpson thing, I thought it was in line with the fact that the Simpsons were trying to get politically correct, where they're not going to show Homer choke him anymore. So I thought I had to do something with that. It was hilarious. It just happened to be at the same time. And for some reason, I wasn't worried when I saw that because I have a computer science background and I've programmed so much stuff. And it's like, first thing that I thought was, oh, that's just a glitch from an update, because they would never screw that up. Because if they screw that up, they're losing Disney like faster than I can snap my fingers. So, but that's my instinct because of my background and what I see. So I think it's a lot of those things. They're so transparent, and I find they're almost too nice. They're almost too New Zealand nice. They're so nice.
I wouldn't expect David and Dan,
they're
right?
New Zealand nice. They're so nice.
Yes. They're almost like Canadian nice.
Yeah, but they are nice. But like David's like, I don't have time. Like I didn't even know about this, like whatever it was. And maybe he kind of did, but that's why that position to me is critical. Someone that can address it very quickly and get to David and get to Dan, because we can't expect David and Dan to be at our beck and call and ow, but they surely need to have someone in there that could liaison and be the face and avoid, you know, there's no reason, Jordan, you should have had to go to where you went. Have they proven them to be that, you know, run the company like that?
Well, I think, yeah. No, go ahead.
Evan Curtis has a really good comment here. So Omi's a 2-year hodl at minimum for those that understand a project like this, building longevity. It's not an overnight pump and dump. This is a real company building a product, not just a chart. That's true. That's true.
I wanted to share something. Like, a lot of people are just new to business development and growth. And when you're investing in crypto, realize you're really investing in companies. You're not necessarily buying equity in their company or stock in their company, but you're investing in a team and the people behind it. And so a lot of people are just new to business and proper expectations. So a lot of people that are freaking out, they just don't know that normal businesses, Facebook, Microsoft, all these ones that went big along the way, they made a lot of missteps and that sometimes almost crushed them. And yet they made it anyway. And so they don't have perspective on what to look for and what not to look for. I did want to point out a really good comment by So Wulo, because, you know, real good criticism is like looking at teams and seeing what's going on and what to FUD about or be worried about and what not to. And, you know, this is a concern to look at. Like, every team member from the original founders, just Dan and David, everyone else got fired, which is weird, which tells you there might be some team development problems, that there might be something in the culture of the team that wasn't quite right. I do know a lot of what they set up was with contractors, because they were pretty low budget and they were trying to do things. But like, he's bringing up a legitimate concern that when I'm evaluating businesses and how they performed over 3 or 4 years, that absolutely is one of the factors I look at. And from my understanding, that's right about that. And that isn't something to dismiss. So speaking on things to dismiss and not dismiss, that's something I don't dismiss when I see something like that. A lot of the stuff like the signature, I'm just kind of patient and let it play out, and let them respond. If they had just made that go away, oh, what a violation of trust that would be. But it turned out it was just a mistake. And so I look for, are they making good decisions or bad decisions? Okay, they're making some mistakes. Are they correcting the processes that are creating these mistakes? And still, I'm very bullish on where they're going to go. And a lot of why people are really frustrated is that the price hasn't pumped, because digital collectibles aren't the narrative yet. And what's going to spark off that narrative going crazy? I don't know. I'm not even quite sure what sparked off blockchain gaming going crazy 6 weeks ago. But then pretty much everything in blockchain gaming ran hard. And that will turn at some point to digital collectibles. And everyone will be talking about it. And VeVe will be one of the biggest projects in the digital collectible space. And then mistakes the company makes won't even have much of an impact. It will just be going crazy. So a lot of people expect that they're going to wave a magic wand and all of a sudden the digital collectibles narrative is going to run and the token price is going to go crazy. It doesn't work that way. They don't control the narrative. As an investor, till the narrative hits. And when it does, it goes crazy. And that's when you might take some profits.
I want to say something about that, what you were saying. If we compare it to Tesla, didn't some people die in a Tesla while they're in the first few years it came out? That there were accidents that happened. They're at the wheel, they're sleeping, and it burns up into flames. Like, people are just, compare that to VeVe. No one died. Chill out. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like everybody's so harsh. No one died. Like, Tesla's killing people, literally, like 1 out of how many cars?
And sometimes first is rough, right? Like, people will come out and say, oh, McFarland is doing this, and they already have, whatever, this company is doing this great thing. Why can't, there is definitely it's hard being first. You're the first on the road. You're the one finding the holes. You're the one. So, the first ends up, if you're smart, second, third, and fourth don't make the same mistakes that the first group had to make. So, it's tough being a trailblazer from that perspective as well.
Right.
I think it goes back again to the matter of trust and, words and actions not quite matching up into, in terms of like them saying the VeVeVerse would be out by the end of 2021. We'll have 4 exchanges within the next however many days. All of OMI utility would be out by the end of 2022. It's been one thing after another, and really no big deliverable has been met. Now, I'm patient, and I've resigned myself to the fact that those timelines weren't met, and, it is what it is, and I'm moving forward. But for others, that's compounded by the fact that you bought at, higher levels and it dropped. And so that makes you angrier. And also, some people base their financial decisions based on what they said, and then they didn't quite follow through. And so I understand it. But again, I also understand that things don't always go according to plan, right? There's that other side of it. But ultimately, they need to do a better job of not, and I think they have, but not over promising and getting something out that in like its entirety, right? So like MCP points, people have been buying comics that they don't even like for however long in order to accrue those points. And some people have millions of points, but they still can't spend them. You've spent all that money on things that you didn't really want, right? Because you wanted these points. And so I do get those frustrations also. I don't think those should be, minimalized.
So 2 things, though, I want to say real quick, Danny. They have hit some big milestones, right? Like Cash Out was a massive FUD fest, right? They're never going to do Cash Out. They did hit that. We got the search bar, which was like another
search bar. That would be a big milestone. And Cash Out, listen, Cash Out, if you don't have Cash Out, that's criminal if you're going to keep people's money.
Yeah, but that my point is like we can't like discredit that just because it's something that they should have. That was something that was promised, and they did deliver on it. And no, like I say the search bar just as a joke because that was like a major flood point for people. They're like, oh, they can't even get a search bar out, right? But what we have seen, and we have an explanation now finally of why like we don't have MCP points is because of that queue system that they've had to go back and revamp, and so that it's more modular and that they can like implement additional things on top of that and build from that. And that's one of the reasons. I'm surprised that it took so long to hear that was the reason, but at least we have a reason now. But they have hit some things. They've missed a lot.
They have, for sure.
So
it would be nice to have something in its entirety rolled out. And the vision has always been like tremendous, right? Where everyone is here for that vision and we all get it, and it's grand and it's, and when everything's put together. But on the tech development side, I think they were dealing with a lot of tech debt early on, having to retroactively fix things. They were also caught off guard. They had too much success too soon, I think. And I think that also set them back some time. Ultimately, I think it comes down to their words, and they shouldn't have made those promises.
I just want to make a quick comment here. BJN 1962 says we need more volumes of people. Prime example is the stream has an awesome cast. There's only 20 people watching. Just to let you guys know, we stream this on all of our YouTube channels, pretty much. So we actually have about 130 people watching total right now. So it's not 20 people. But yeah, just letting you guys know, we usually get up to 200 people watching live.
And you can comment on each channel, and it shows up in the main channel comments too. So like
a little confusing.
Anyone who's watching on my or commenting on my channel, your comments show up on Jordan's all of our channels as well, so we can see all of the comments that are happening. Yeah.
Do you guys think it'll reach 5 cents?
Yes.
Woo!
Yeah.
Okay. I think 5 cents is possible, but that's not my expectation for this cycle. No.
Not my expectation for this cycle either.
I expect 3 to 5 cents. Queen VeVe, what do you expect?
I'm hoping, honestly, I'm hoping for it to hit the penny. I'll be honest. I'm just hoping to get 1 cent out of this cycle.
But I just want to ask Danny, you're basing that just on market cap?
I'm basing it on market cap. Yeah, on the fact that there
burns, if there's burns, I guess. Yeah.
I don't price burns in because they don't have any real burning mechanisms yet.
I saw your video on it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, if I would adjust my thoughts if they start burning through supply, then yeah, I would take that into consideration. Right now, I'm going with the idea that we're going to have 100% in circulation, and what's there is there. I base it off of perspective, market cap, and also the fact that there's lopsided distribution and a lot of people with a lot of OMI, and some people in this very chat right here would get very rich off of a penny, 2 pennies, and they'll be taking profits. And also there are bag holders from last cycle who I think are going to take profits at key psychological levels.
Yeah, but I think, to be honest, I have to say 5 cents is more to the bullish side, but not really impossible, because if you make the calculation even on the circulating supply, you end up with $15 billion market cap.
Yeah, it's doable.
So $15 billion market cap, it seems a lot right now if you look at the top 100, but if you 10x the top 100 or 20x the top 100, besides the top 5. Then you end up with market caps where you could say, okay, then it's probably not even in the top 100 with a $15 billion one or so, which seems reasonable. If the bull market goes right, and bull case means also that Ecomi delivers, right? And that's also the point that I would make here to the previous conversation, that the chasm is so big between VeVe, and I also disagree with the we have been spoiled, because we have been spoiled on the VeVe side, but not on the Ecomi side. And there are a lot of people that are in the space because of Ecomi, and they're like, okay, I have this Ecomi token, let's see what it does. They go to VeVe, they start buying, they get addicted to this collecting. They're excited, but their main purpose is still the OMI token, and they evolve around this. And people like me, they built even a YouTube channel around the Ecomi token, not necessarily around the VeVe collectibles.
True.
So, and you have to really see this. like you have to be. I have to say it. You have to be a fucking artist to build a VeVe. To build a OMI channel around a token that has soft staking in 3 years, right? I mean, you have to pull things out of your ass.
Are you complimenting me? I don't know.
That's literally you have content of 1 year that is invalidated just by let's do it the other way. We
Right.
don't do article and we have MCP fusion with OMI, and now and we will see and now I think 1 year of this content creation is based of my channel is based on criticism because of that. Because we do not have anything at hand to say, hey, look, this is awesome. Let's calculate how this all works. That was the first year of my channel, right? Calculating how the burns work together, and then how this goes into an acceleration machine like it should have been, and then so that's basically it. I lost completely where I was going with this, but the rant was awesome, so thank you for that.
I'm happy with it.
I wonder, to go back to Danny's comment though, like, he's right. They said we would have it out by this, and I even remember on Queen's Court, David had said about everyone getting their MCP points by the end of the year. And I'm like, David, really, again? You're going to do this again? And he's like, yes. And then, it didn't happen. So, the problem with that is if they really don't know, what do you think the best approach for them to say? I mean, would it soften the blow if they said, we hope? I mean, is it just a matter of semantics or trust? I guess, Danny, because I see it more of, I don't look at them as David willfully giving a date to burn us, like as an untrustworthiness. I look at it more as someone who maybe doesn't understand everything it takes, maybe got a delay, before it, whatever, it was out of his control, etc. So I guess my question would be is, I get that loses trust because he says those dates, but like flip it around now. What would help build trust? I mean, is it to say just a matter of words to say, we hope by end of the year? However, with technology, it could be months. End of sentence. Like, is it really as simple? And I don't mean it like that, but is it really simple as just phrasing it so that you never lie?
I think at this point, what builds back trust for people who've lost is the deliverables themselves, right? Those things have to come out.
Yeah.
And then getting those things in their hands. In terms of communication, it's tough, right? When it's been a long time, what's going to placate people other than getting it out? I'm not sure. I do think someone said it, maybe it was Doc earlier, delineating the technical things that you're working on. Like when Mitch comes on, there was one time when Mitch was on Twitter talking about all the things behind a search bar, right? And optimizing this and whatever, and all the jargon. And I think that people had it gave people comfort and ease. And so I don't know if they need to do more of that. People waited forever for smart contracts on Cardano, but Charles Hoskinson was out there doing AMAs talking out specifically what was going on behind the scenes, and we tried this and it failed, and now we have to redo it. So he was constantly communicating, and people still fudded them, but their core group, I think they kept strong.
You're never going to get away from FUD. Doesn't matter what community you're in. Look, it's so funny because everyone sits there and like the people who are only in VeVe, like they think that it's only happening in VeVe, right? But like I got people who are in the Bored Ape community, right? And they show me screenshots of what's happening, right, in those chats, and everyone's just like, Bored Apes did this wrong and they haven't developed, they're not delivering, right? Like, I mean, it's everywhere. And anytime the price is down, like that's part of it. But going back to price, I absolutely think that 3 to 5 cents is well within the realm of possibility, regardless of burns. And what we talk about deliverables. It's funny, guys. Look, I mean, deliverables are important for us, the community. They're not for people who know nothing about OMI. What happens is OMI catches a narrative and people who have never heard of Omi before are FOMOing into Omi because it's part of the narrative. That's what happened the last time. When Meta came out and they're like metaverse, right? And then NFTs came out and they're like, what are projects that are tied in any way to NFTs? They didn't do any research and they just FOMOed. And they like, that's how Omi shot up. Omi had nothing at that point. They had kind of an app that was, janky, and you couldn't, like, the drops would freeze, right? And like, yeah, Omi hit 1.4 cents. And so we do talk about this as a community where we're like, once these fundamentals are here, all of this is going to happen. And that's when it'll moon. And it's like, not necessarily. It will be better for the project. I think that there's a lot of mechanisms that once those are implemented will actually help the price do even better. But it doesn't take that. All it takes is a narrative in crypto, because most of crypto is speculation. It really is, right? Because there's so many projects that launch, they have no product, and they freaking go crazy numbers, and especially during the bull run. So 3 to 5 cents for me, as long as VeVe hits one of those narratives, whether it's AR, whether it's gaming, whether it's music NFTs, right? Which supposedly David was on my channel and talked about music NFTs this month, right? It's gonna be rolling out there. It could go crazy. So 3 to 5 cents, absolutely, like, within my realm of possibility. That's more than likely.
That's good, because you're
about
talking.
it. 1.4 cents was the previous all-time high. So like 6 cents is just barely 4x from the previous all-time high. Now, the last all-time high, there was a few things that came together, like Omi hitting the narrative really strong. But secondly, some people had some of their tokens locked up on the app and weren't able to withdraw it. So had they been able to, maybe it wouldn't have hit 1.4 cents. It did hit that. Is it unrealistic that it hits 4x from here? I don't see why that's unrealistic. Now, will it happen? It really comes down to how strong the digital collectibles narrative is, but I think that's one of the strongest narratives in crypto. So I'll be disappointed if it only does 5 cents. But 5 cents is where I think the floor of where it likely will go to, and I think it could go higher. I've got to run, though, everyone, and I appreciate everyone and your time and your thoughts. Doctor of Stuff, that was very eloquent on what you said about it. I completely agree.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Ryan.
Yeah, thank you, everyone.
Cheers.
I wanted to say, if it hits 5 cents, I'm Canadian. That's going to be what, 6, 7 cents alone. I'm going to get,
same here for
because I'm
Australian
actually,
dollars.
it's more expensive for me to buy Omi because it's not, so. But I wanted to mention something that you were saying, Danny. It's funny because I was watching your video of your spreadsheet, and when Omi gets to this price, market cap, and burns if they're here, I was literally talking to you on the screen. I'm like, I gotta ask him this question when I catch you on the EcomiVerse, which is there's this X factor about, like, just stocks in general or crypto in general, which is, for example, if I use Doge, no one would have thought Doge would be at 5, like, hidden in the pennies. Like, I don't know what the market cap is now, or all these, like, how does VeChain go from a penny to 30 cents and it has no utility? Like, I know patient, I had VeChain as well. I stacked. So there's this X factor that when things start to heat up, we enter a vortex of nothing makes sense. Yeah, we'll hit maybe 10 million, 1 billion market cap, something, but who says it won't go to 30 cents?
Yeah,
because
so
things don't make sense sometimes when things are exchanging hands.
I agree that crypto is an irrational place, right? It's not rational. However, I do think that when people are trying to assign value to things, they're looking at, like, each sector, like layer ones, for instance, are guided by, like, Ethereum. Ethereum was at a $500 billion market cap. All right, Solana can take up 20% of that market cap and go to $100 billion. Cardano can get up to the 90. And now VeChain looks undervalued, comparatively speaking, right? In terms of meme coins, there are no rules, and let's just pump this and get it as high as possible, and we're going to the moon, right?
Right.
And so I think there are comparables play a role in how people assign value. And for something like Omi, I wouldn't, like, there's like that Doge narrative that, well, like, if Doge did it, if Shiba did it, then this coin can do it. But I don't think that's that can apply to any coin, first of all, right? And two, I don't think it does apply to most coins. I do think that there is some limit that people place on them.
I've got a quick comment here. It's off topic, but I Love Golf asked, what do I do for work that I can stream at 10 a.m. every Tuesday? I work for myself. I've worked for myself for about 10 years now.
Become
I run-
independently wealthy.
Yeah,
Takes his-
independently wealthy.
takes a smoking break for 2
yeah,
hours.
yeah. Yep, I
Impressive.
stack little bags in my office. No.
He's
I,
burning through his 3 houses. So his
Yeah,
one house 3 times.
I run an online SEO and Google Ads marketing agency, just my own little one. Just
And
as
had a great invention that made him lots of money.
Oh, cool.
invention. Well, I did some really well with Amazon as well, and I
Yes.
I sold those off this year, and actually pretty much all the money from that's just gone straight in crypto. So I'm like all in on crypto.
TJ, I love it.
About 50% still in OMI, right? 50% in OMI, which is over 180 million OMI. You guys probably know I mentioned this a few weeks ago. I think it was on Danny's stream that I sold a bit of OMI just to diversify a little bit. I also had to sell some to pay some bills. As I said, I sold my Amazon brands, and I put like all the money pretty much into OMI and other crypto, and I didn't save any cash for when bills come up, which is not a good idea. So, so I've just had to take some of that out. But yeah, I'm really I'm very lucky, very blessed to be able to spend all this time at home. I work from home. Have done it. I'll never work for a boss. Just won't do it. And if crypto goes well next year, I'll be in the multi-millions. I'll be able to have many years to pay my own wage because I have a company and I pay myself as an employee. And I'll probably put my wife on as an employee as well. I'll be able to get the wage from some of that crypto, and buy our dream house, and yeah, it should be good from there. Let's go
So
crypto.
Speaking of crypto, what do you guys make of today's little pullback? Just a little
dip.
little
For
dip.
for
Just a
Bitcoin,
little
this is
bump,
a dip.
or
For Bitcoin, this is like a bump in the road. This is nothing.
just a little
Yeah,
bump.
Correct.
Okay.
That's nothing.
Has to cool off a
I mean,
bit. Yeah.
It shows
Yeah, just
it
a
shows
little
one
cool off.
thing. It shows one thing. We're back to when Bitcoin corrects, altcoins correct harder in an uptrend. We saw it like 4%, 5-6% Bitcoin, and then 10 to 20% on some altcoins, which is nice because it still saves people from just buying the super green candle. But I think we haven't seen anything yet with regards to pullback, because I think there will be this one. I'm not saying that there will be this sea crisis black swan pullback, but I think there will be one pullback where all the bears come out one more time to shill their sub 10,000 Bitcoin target. See, I told you it's going to. When it, for example, let's say we're at 41,000, right? Unless it crashed while we're at the stream,
It's
but
at 41,
41,000 or so, right? And let's say it crashes, it comes down to 30,000. That's a 25%, more than 25% pullback, which will result in a 50% pullback on some altcoins. Imagine these shrapnels and all these gaming things just go and cut in half, right?
Yeah.
And they see this mega red candle, and then all the bears come out and say, look, and the reason for this could be something like tomorrow's CPI comes out 0.1% above estimate, right? So worse than expected. Could be the only reason why this happens. So we will see.
And when do you think that's going to come? Do you think that before the end of the year, before the halving? What's your?
Yeah, like next 60 to 90 days, probably, like to the halving, something like that.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm thinking in January, maybe even after like an ETF is approved, sell the news event. The other thing is, though, everyone's expecting such a sharp pullback, and sometimes when everyone expects it, it doesn't quite happen. So I'm just prepared for all circumstances. If it dumps 30%, 25%, whatever, great. If not, I just DCA on when I think there are good prices. And
Danny, you've got your Tesla now, so you don't care.
it's not. I got my Tesla. Yeah, and I care, man. I'm trying to get more than a Tesla next cycle.
What are you gonna get next?
No, I mean, car wise, I'm good on my Tesla. I just want to have total financial freedom.
No debt.
I'm not a spender, so I don't want to out. The problem is people make money and then they upgrade their lifestyle.
They don't keep it.
Need more money to keep that lifestyle up. I don't want to fall into that trap. I want to maintain my lifestyle, but be able to, go to a restaurant, not look at the menu, not care how much anything costs ever.
What I thought at the Bitcoin drop being really useful is actually because OMI hasn't taken off yet. So now when Bitcoin starts to run again, if OMI has more news, it'll sort of help OMI accelerate. Whereas if Bitcoin is already pumped and then OMI has good news, it's not going to pump as much. So I think it's actually really good news for us OMI holders that we had such a big pullback. As I said, it's not big compared to Bitcoin's 20-30% normal dips. Like that's normal in the book. If you look at all the bull runs and the cycles, Bitcoin often drops 20-30% and then pumps
a few times.
Yeah, it's fairly common.
So no one's selling today, is what you're saying.
Well, it's just it gets rid of all the paper hands, right? And all the new people new to investing, right? As Rain would say, like a lot of these people that are new to investing, they don't know what a red day is like, and they just panic sell, and that's where like institutions make the money because they hold, and retail investors that sell because they get scared lose that money, and they everyone else gets it cheap.
I think it's beautiful.
Go ahead.
Just a compliment for the run. I think it's beautiful what you just said. Also, sharing your what were your goals, right, for the next run. I think I share the exact same goals, like this financial independence to just achieve that status where you do not have to worry about I think together with what Jordan said, the three big factors that everyone counts in the normal society, so to say, counts as given and stable, and we suddenly in crypto we don't see it like that anymore, probably because we're looking into all that different options, like the job market, the housing market, and the stock market, right? So we all see that all of these are relatively unstable, and so I think it's beautiful because everyone that deals with crypto all the time, be it the viewers in the chat or everyone that's sitting here, just thinking in this world all the time, I think gets you so much further ahead in terms of education. Even if you lost money in an altcoin, even if you lost money in, I don't know what, selling too early, selling the bottom or whatever, I think that the education that you get out of this is insane. Like you learn so fast in this cycle.
Yeah, I agree with you, Danny. I'm kind of in the same boat. That's my dream as well. I mean, would it be nice to have yachts and jets? Yes, but honestly, I'm not that kind of thinker. So when people are like, "Oh yeah, Omi's gonna hit $1 and we're all gonna have yachts," I'm like, I'm not even. You know what I mean? Like that would be great. I mean, obviously, but it's more about just thinking about good financial stability, not being a billionaire.
Yeah.
I don't know. And
Dr. Stuff, you've got to go now. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got to go. I just want to say one last thing kind of about this. It's so funny. So I talked to some friends, incredibly savvy individuals. They work in the stock market. Like they understand stocks. I told them about VeVe and they were like, I don't know. And I for months and months I preached about VeVe, right? Then it went up. And they're like, I wish I would have got into VeVe. So then they started to get into crypto, right? And it was kind of the tail end of the bull run where they did experience some gains, some decent gains, right? But then a lot of the projects, then the bear market hit and it kind of went down. I'm in constant contact with these people, and it's so interesting to me. They're tapped out, like they're done. They're so disenfranchised with crypto. But I'm like, this is the time. Look at, and I pointed to some projects that we were in, that we invested in pre-sale, that we're down. And I'm like, but they're still going. And I bought more at these levels. And now they 4 or 5 or 10x. But the pain of things going down is so much harsher than the gains that people make, just from a psychological standpoint. When we get gains, we're like, yeah, that's kind of expected. We're excited. Even if it's 10 or 20x, it can be euphoric. But then if it drops 95%, that hit is so substantial that people, they phase out, even extremely intelligent. So I just want to give props to everyone who's still here, who's looking at this, because I do believe, and this is just me personally, what I'm doing with my money, I continue to dollar cost average in to a lot of these projects, including VeVe and including OMI, because I do think that this next bull run, whenever it hits, is going to be big. And the people who are rewarded most are the people who didn't get phased out and they continued to buy when everyone else was fighting the crap out of these other projects that still continued on. So congrats to everyone who's still here. I appreciate all of you guys' support. If you haven't already, like and subscribe to everyone's channels here. Follow them on Twitter as well. And with that, I am out, ladies and gentlemen.
Thanks, Dr. Stuff.
Nice to meet you.
And Danny, I think you said you need to go as well.
Yeah, I got to run also. Sorry. Great show, Paul. Great meeting you for the first time and chatting with you on here. Happy birthday to EcomiVerse.
Yeah.
Woo! Thanks, Danny.
Yeah,
We
good job,
appreciate you.
Jordan.
Yeah, we
I'll
appreciate you
catch you
coming
guys.
in.
It was a great conversation. I'll catch you guys.
Awesome.
Bye,
Thanks,
Danny.
Bye
Peace.
bye.
Bye, guys.
Woo! Okay, we all staying for a little while longer. No one else needs to
Yeah,
drop
yeah.
out.
No, I wanted to
I
share
would
something.
prefer it if
Yeah,
not,
Paul, go for it.
because
Share your
it's
screen.
1:20 a.m. And
No,
I
you're
have to
stuck
get
with us,
up in
patient hotline.
a couple of hours.
No, you have to stay. No, you need to go as well because it is 1:20 a.m. for you.
When I saw you that you're going to be on the podcast, I'm like, wait, is he going to be sleeping? Like he's
I
going to
never
be in
sleep.
bed, like giving the podcast. It's funny. Yeah, but I wanted to
You
add
always
to what
keep
you had
awake,
said.
man.
Who?
Yeah, Paul.
Yeah.
Paul didn't share your screen, and patient hotline.
Yeah,
You need to go
it's
now.
something to add. Yeah, I
Let him
wanted to
share the
add this
screen.
too.
I can jump at any time. That's fine.
Yeah,
Let's
it's
look
just
at it.
it's something that I saw that CoinGecko posted just recently. I don't know if you see it. Yeah, like there, if you see here versus like in 1 year, if you kind of zoom out, it's kind of done like, what does it say there? 160% up. So yeah, it could come some drawbacks, like you were saying. Some bears are gonna come and take over the show, and kind of like put that last scare in. But if you kind of like zoom out, like I got scared when I saw everything kind of drop and then drop again. It's like, oh my God, this 99% thing is real, because it was my first bear market.
Yeah.
Like it's a real thing. Like I just started accumulating in 2017, 18, and then I kind of forgot about it. I didn't even take it serious. So to newbies, it's huge. You get a heart attack, but when you kind of run through a bull run and then you come down to a bear, which is crazy, and we're right about like in this crab, and then we're kind of get this ETF front running all the news and stuff. Like you're right, there could be some little pullback, but when you zoom out in 2 years from now, it's going to look like a little speck of dirt, like nothing.
Yeah,
compared to those
25%
things.
doesn't look that much, right? 25% in retrospective, when you have such a huge God candle afterwards or so,
Yes.
then it doesn't look that big. I think I was lucky in the last bear market because I have really what I was getting in this like pre topping out phase when Bitcoin was in this huge run up, had the first retracement. I already got into some projects and I saw what could. I didn't buy the top and got wrecked. I bought somewhere in the middle, made huge gains, and then I got wrecked, right? So I saw what's possible. And I stuck to my plan that I wouldn't overinvest because I wanted to see how this all works and goes. So in the end, I was like, okay, that these couple of $1,000, I really don't care if that goes to zero, but let's see where this goes. And so I was relatively chill on the way down with that.
And I think VeVe with its super bull cycle, a super bull cycle that they had because of the artificial gems. I can also see how that is so much more bitter to people, because not only was it pumping, but it was fake. There was a lot of fake pumping in there. So when I look at my portfolio and it was like, I don't know, like $750,000, and I look back now, like it took a big hit. So I could see the people who were out there and were experiencing that euphoria of, and then all of a sudden, I don't want to say all of a sudden, but are now sitting there looking at their portfolios that are substantially smaller. How that could, make you want to, make you angry or make you less willing to want to buy back in or buy more.
Yeah.
Say.
Right.
It's crazy. It's crazy. I've got friends who won't touch crypto now because they got burnt in the last the last cycle, but they got gains. Some of them got really big gains, and then some even took some profit. But they just that like you said, Paul. I think you said it earlier. Like those red days, they're just so harsh that it can just burn people out.
Right.
You don't see that in traditional markets. I mean,
no.
Once in a while, I mean, you'll see a
small caps sometimes, but generally they don't drop 90%.
Yeah.
No, 90%. They're jumping off like rooftops. In the stock market. Like it's nuts. So, but I wanted to say to lessen the blow or the the drug that I always suggest to people. They're like, how are you still in it? Aren't you discouraged? I said, no, it's the opposite. I go, because I look at things that are, because I'm a Web3 artist. I'm in music. That's where I kind of got into the crypto world, because music brought me into this decentralized. I love the idea of Spotify not taking all our money anymore, or YouTube, and brought me to the crypto world. So it's just, I love that concept. And I focused on the passion, and Omi and VeVe, like, so passionate, and I love that so much. And when I see it, it actually inspired me during COVID times to write an album and to connect an NFT to it, a collection, and I minted it and stuff. And I copied VeVe. They inspired me. Like, if I could share my screen, Jordan, I don't know if you guys are going to see this, but check this out here. Okay, look, for example, I started, because I'm a computer science graduate too here. So I did something like this. I don't know if it's going to work. I don't know if you guys are going to see this, but this is like an example, like a QR code. You scan it. This is what, like, I did with my phone, basically. And this was like a music video in augmented reality. This was like kind of inspired by VeVe, but my actual NFT, these are the NFTs, and this is how it worked. So you kind of like just scan it with the QR code. This is all because of VeVe, or else I would have never done this. So it does this. It goes to WebAR. I programmed it. It's a two-step process. It's not like VeVe. But then I could tap it anywhere, and there it is.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Wow.
And it's actually,
that's nice.
So I kind of like did that, and people were like, and you see, like, I move my camera around to kind of like show that it's still there. Like, it's kind of, and this is all because of VeVe. VeVe inspired me to say, I can tap it and put it. Yeah.
You can bring them to the VeVeVerse, right? I think they're gonna allow you to.
I think so. They're minted on crypto.com. But I was playing around with it, and for example, like, let me see. I was playing around with music videos. I went to Iceland. I don't know if you've been to Iceland, anyone here, but like, I have done the same thing where it's like, hey, yeah, it's beautiful, and you're so close. Actually, it's like I shot a video there, and I can place the music video in the thing. Like, so I'm the only one in Canada doing this right now.
Wow,
that's
really amazing.
There's no one else doing AR stuff, and I got inspired by VeVe. And it's like, people understand, stick to the inspirations, stick to passion. That'll lessen the blow of, oh my God, look at the technicals. Oh my God, look, it's going down. Oh my God, Matt Groening has been removed. Stop thinking of the small stuff and stick to the passion, because music is almost like, for me, it's become like, it's softened the blow of how hard life could be. Like, you learn so much, it humbles you, it fills you up again with love. So I feel VeVe, there's so many people that love it. Stick to the love, and I think everything's the passion of it, because it inspired me. And when I did my NFT launch October 28th, people were like, why are you doing this? Why? I don't get it. Can I just take a picture of it? And then I was actually talking about VeVe and the Louboutin collection and blah, blah, blah. And people were like, what? What? Things going to millions? People were like lost. I was like talking Chinese to them. So I'm taking the opportunity to have music with the Web3 and the NFTs. And again, I've been inspired by VeVe. So guys, stick to the inspiration of things, the passion of things. I understand how people can get lost on the day-to-day. I get it, because, we don't have things that make us always feel good and things like that. When you see the price going down, or they said they were going to finish 15 more statues, they were going to fix them up and then do a second wave of whatever, November 15th of, people going to the VeVeVerse. Like, okay, they didn't do that. That was kind of bummed out. I thought maybe I could get in and check it out, because I'm a geek that way. But it's like, let's focus on what we love. We love it. Let's just stick with it. They'll come around. They're working on it. They're not rug pulling anytime soon. It's not an Alcon's legacy to rug pull. They won't do that.
That's right.
Amen.
So they're not. Yeah, they won't.
Laurie, do you know anything about this Disney desk business? Philip is asking about it. Or Patient Hodler, do you know anything about it?
What I can't, I
can't. Disney desk, they said it's still coming. I saw a video.
What's
not
Disney
video.
desk?
I saw a reply from VeVe to someone.
The pencils and stuff.
Pencils.
Who asked, and they said it's still coming.
Have you guys tried?
No, I think it's. I believe. Don't quote me here, but I believe they said the delivery would be early early next year. I thought. It
Yeah,
was
January you can craft it.
Yeah.
It's not an airdrop. I think you can use the pencils to craft it.
Cool. That'd be cool. I do want to point out
Right.
a really good comment here. Matt G says, safe predictions based on what's good during the bear market, understandable, but wait until the entire top 100 have 100 billion plus market caps. Views will change quickly. That's so true. Like it would be insane if the top 100 have 100 billion, and like that's the minimum of the top 100. That means that, you know, OMI could be, what's that? Is that 3 cents? That's
Yeah. No,
About
15 billion would be 5 cents already.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And so if
Yeah,
if
50.
say OMI's halfway, we're top 50, then maybe that'll be 15, 20 billion. You know, so we could get above 5 cents potentially.
Yeah, but it's really hard to get in the top 50 now that there are so many established projects taking up those slots, layer ones and so on, with huge ecosystems and that are burning tokens like since 5 years and so on. You really have to see also, and this is somewhat where I'm hesitant. You need to have news and delivery to control the narrative to be up there, because if you are delivering at the pace that you are right now, you're not going to be in the top 200, never, in a bull run, because you need constant news and roadmap updates and narrative, even if it's only promises again or so, but you really need that to control the narrative. And no one will be like, oh, look at that, they have soft staking, and they threw some
as long as we
around.
get some deliverables, we'll be fine. But you gotta remember, they went from 4 zeros to 1 0 in 45 days last bull run.
Yeah,
That's
but last
45
bull run
days.
it was all new. Last bull run it was all new,
that's true.
the project. So you have to if you have this is why the projects like Shrapnel and GFL and all of these going crazy, because they have a nice team like ex Blizzard, ex EA, and then a roadmap full of promises. But Ecomi VeVe doesn't have that luxury anymore, because they have their roadmap. The promises are all out.
But we don't have a roadmap though. We don't really have a roadmap. There's no roadmap.
We had a roadmap for 1.5 years, and quite frankly, a lot of it came true. But
I saw that video you posted. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I saw that video.
Yeah, so I made some huge roadmap videos, and before they threw it all away, I even moved like a square around where we are on the quarter and moved it and made check marks where we had it. There was still stuff in like Epico Regal burning and I don't know what. So that is I still think that this roadmap is valid.
We need like an official roadmap on the website.
And I've heard a lot of people defend that and say, you know, roadmap, that's just a project outline, and that was years ago. and we can't, now they have to be held more as a company, that, you know, they shouldn't need a roadmap anymore. It should be company objectives, etc. So I don't know if it's a roadmap, but, you know, I definitely agree. It would be nice, especially for the OMI side, to see some real, you know, expectations, you know, maybe not dates, but of where they're going next. I know they used to point back to that OMI page, right? That was the current roadmap. I mean, last time I talked to Reese, even though one circle's only filled in or whatever it was, get the drop system right. They had repeatedly kind of said, well, this is the roadmap, you know, this site. Because it'll even say things down the road, you know, if you've actually read that lately. So that was the response I got from Reese, that, you know, that was the roadmap now. But then a lot of the pushback on that side is it's not kept up to date. We've had one circle filled in out of 20. Yeah. You know,
there is as a computer science nerd and programming, there is a bit of a worry, like in a sense of like, in my eyes, in the sense of like, they got to get their stuff. I think it's slow now from what I'm seeing, but I think it's only going to exponentially get faster, because they're going to fix the errors. And when they fix that, they're going to get this far, then further. And then it's going to kind of like cumulatively explode, you know? And I think right now it's just slow because no one wants to go through old code. No one wants to go through faulty blocks of code. And I know that for a fact. I don't even want to look at someone else's website design and try to fix their HTML. Like let's start from scratch, but they can't do that because everything's kind of on it. So they got to stick with it. So I feel like it's a little slow, but I think it's only made purposefully where they're gonna start to go exponentially quicker.
Move.
So
well, that goes to one of the things Reese had said is one of the reasons they couldn't move on some of those other circles was because so much of the project was contingent on nailing that drop list and getting that drop list right, that other things were being set up, but they couldn't be put into motion until that barrier was met. So, I mean, that's a really good point. You know, maybe as one big domino falls, some of the other things will fall into place a lot quicker. That would be amazing. I'm hoping for this cycle, but I think they'll be in really good position.
I will jump now because otherwise it's getting too late.
We should wrap it up, Jordan.
Yeah, wrap it up.
I love this discussion, so thank you very much for that. But I have 1,000 words to add to this, but not today anymore.
No, you get some sleep.
First, I have to prepare the morning live stream.
Yeah. Are you just going to go prepare straight away?
Yeah.
Well, it was great talking to you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure.
And thanks, Jordan, and happy EcomiVerse birthday.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody. We'll catch you next week.